The Dad the Soul Extra Time show. This is 60-something minutes of father, funk, foolishness to entertain you on the lunch break, entertain you on the school run, entertain you on the jogging, entertain you on the flights to Dubai. Is that true, Jim? Did it entertain you on the flights to Dubai?
Well, thankfully, I did not get a flight to Dubai. I got a flight to Abu Dhabi, which is where my friend lives. However...
Same place. It's exactly the same place.
No, right? There's a very big distinction because you may be aware last week or the week before, just before I flew, there were massive storms in the United Arab Emirates. And Dubai, don't know if you saw the video of Dubai airport with the airplanes sliding around in the water. They were completely flooded.
Somewhere that doesn't rain ever because it's a desert.
Yeah.
Rained on the time you wanted to turn up.
Just before, so the days before. So there was some damage in Abu Dhabi. There was a lot worse in Dubai. There was like something like 18 months of rain in a day there. Yeah. And one of the suggestions when we were looking at the logistics of going to meet my friend in Abu Dhabi, which is a long-running thread on this podcast and live stream, was that I would fly to Dubai, which is apparently only an hour away from where he lives, and he'd come and pick me up from Dubai and then take me to his, and it was just the way that the flights worked. But actually, I ended up finding some flights that went direct to Abu Dhabi where you can see the airport from his balcony, and he could pick me up from there much easier. So we went with that. Had I gone to Dubai, I would not have been seeing my friend because the road between Dubai and Abu Dhabi was closed because of all of the damage that had been done for the entirety of the time that I was there. So we could have maybe got to the border and waved, gone, "Hi, how you doing?"
How shitty would that be after all this time of planning and organising to get there and not me? I just think also it's quite incredible that you, as a Yorkshireman from a county that is, famed for its rain, you always took the weather with you.
I was so annoyed when I saw the storms that were meant to be coming. I was like, this is not why I am going to the Middle East. It is not to get Yorkshire weather there. As it happened...
It made you feel at home, though, did it?
It did, but then actually the day I got there, it had turned again, and it was hot. So it was about 35 degrees each day that I was there. So it actually turned out to be super boiling.
Was that useful for all the cardigans that you packed?
Yeah, well, exactly, right? Sweating in them. Well, the thing is, you have to pack a set of clothes to fly in, right? And flying is always quite cold and uncomfortable. So you want your kind of cozy clothes, as I noticed, except the one bloke at Manchester Airport I noticed who had silver hot pants, but I think he was the stag on the way to a stag do somewhere. And so I had I had my chinos and my jumper and my nylon t-shirt, my nylon shirt, 1970s.
Did your mum go out and get you some holiday clothes for the sound of it?
That's what I wear on a day-to-day basis. Nylon 70s man-made fibers. That's what I go for.
Too much electric.
Yeah, so I was wearing those, and then I turned up, and even though I didn't turn up till like 10 o'clock on whatever evening it was, I got off the plane and I was like, "Whoa, I am inappropriately dressed now. This is not what I should be wearing."
Was that because your Morrissey t-shirt?
That's it. Well, it's inappropriate wherever you go right now.
Yeah.
Really.
So welcome, boys and girls. Welcome to another show. We've gone straight into it. We've not given you any form of proper introduction. Does that really matter, though, Jim? Does it really matter?
I think, it's nice to have a little pre-credits opener. A cold open is what they call it, right? That's what they called it.
Is that an actual thing?
So if you think about Friends, there was always like a little scene at the start of Friends that very rarely had any relevance to the rest of the episode. Maybe it did have a little bit of a link, but it opened up them, couple of jokes, big joke, laugh into the credits. So I think we could do a Dadless Hole Extra Time cold open. Well, we've just done it, right? So
and you've spoilt the magic.
And now I've deconstructed it, and everyone's like, "Oh, I see. I've been played."
Yeah, and that also takes planning and thought. Two things that we're not really good at.
No, that's true. Yeah, unfortunately.
So how was it anyway, boys and girls? This has been going on for weeks. Jim's travels and the organising the stress and the dad guilt. Are you allowed to go away and have some playtime as a grown-up when you've got commitments at home? It went. Was it magical?
Yeah, it was. It was good fun. I mean, in order to make the logistics work, I had to wake up at 2:00 in the morning on a Thursday morning and get a taxi to Leeds Station, then a train from Leeds Station to Manchester Airport, then to be greeted by the news that my plane was delayed by an hour, then to go to the gate after an hour and them have trouble getting people on because there was so many logistical issues going on, and then to get on the plane, sit there, and the captain to go, funny story, everyone. Someone's been taken ill. So we're just assessing them, see if they can fly. Then 20 minutes later, we've assessed them. They need to get off.
They're dead.
Well, I don't care by this point, whatever. But you're thinking, well, brilliant, we can go. And then he goes, just a little delay while we go into the baggage hold and get all their luggage out. And God. So we eventually got set off and it was fine. But no, it was really nice. It was lovely to see my friend.
How long had you not seen him in the flesh for?
So he went more than a year ago, and then he came back to visit Leicester. So about a year since I've seen him. Just saw him for like a few hours because I had to be back in Yorkshire, so couldn't stay over there. I just saw him, like we had a little evening out, just a bit of food and a catch up.
Yeah.
And then and I've not seen him for a year, and so
there wasn't like a big sort of reunion where it's been, because we also discussed trying to catch up with friends that you used to have, and sometimes there's that social awkwardness because you've changed, you've moved, you've developed as a human being. There was none of that.
No, because he's my best.
You've
mate.
not developed.
Yeah, I'm not developed. I mean, there is absolutely literal no. Well, there's no growth, but no growth internally, externally.
You've got a couple of extra pounds. Let's be honest.
Yes, exactly. Hasn't we all?
Yeah. How dare you?
But he's my best mate, and we text like pretty much every day. So it was like it was great to see him again and to have a bit more of a an in-depth time and a sort of intense time with him, I guess, in a good way. Yeah. I don't mean like he was really intense.
but hadn't he just had some news on his career as well? So.
Yeah, so it's he's kind of his job's gone a bit, but but actually Manny had loads of free time, so we got to go and do lots of cool stuff. It was really nice to see him and to catch up with him and you just spend some time together, because the last time we spent any like real amount of time together, I've seen him a couple of times when I've been down to London when he was living there, and I've sort of stayed at his flat and then gone in the morning and gone to work or something. The last time we had any time away was probably like 3 or 4 years ago. We went to we climbed Ben Nevis together.
Okay.
And so it was just really nice to spend a few days just really catching up and having that time together. And
it's easy to adjust as well. What I was finding from holidays, getting into the holiday spirit, and then where yours every day at home, you've got a routine. You've got the school run, you've got this blah 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 blah. To actually stop and have none of that and get used to having none of that always makes me a bit squiffy for a couple of days. Right? Because you need like a 4 or 5 day break.
Yeah.
How was that? Was that a deep dive?
It was all right. I enjoyed it. I think I'd set myself up for it, though. I'd prepared for it because, I think I said this last time he got in contact. He was like, is there anything you really want to do? And I was like, I'm not even looking at what there is to do. Yeah. I'm just willing to go with the flow. It's just about seeing him and not about...
Did you leave the flat, or was it just box set after box set and hot noodles?
Oh, no, we did go out and do stuff, but what I was willing to do was just like absolve all responsibility and let him take the lead and do whatever he wanted to show me, whatever he thought was interesting.
All the pressure.
Yeah, he had all the pressure. I had none of it, which I'm a win. That's a win, right? That
Essentially,
is a win.
You're a trophy husband.
Basically, yeah. For
Turning
3
up and
days.
Looking good.
For 3 full days. Yeah, that is what I was. So it was. I think I'd prepared myself for that. I prepared myself for the fact that it wasn't going to be like, all right, we need to be at this point at this time, and this, because I had no idea what there was in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah,
and And I'd not looked it up purposefully because I didn't want to go, oh no, if we don't go there, then we can't go there and we can't do that. But that was never the purpose of the trip. And we did see some nice stuff. We went and toured like the Grand Mosque, which was like just an amazing sight. And I would probably have put that on an itinerary if I'd have known it even existed before I went, but I didn't. But it was part of just like, let's go. And then we hung out and watched the people getting ready, because wherever you go in Abu Dhabi, there's a mall, a shopping mall. Wasn't really expecting one at the world's third largest mosque, but there was. You come out of the car park, you go through, and there's just this shopping mall. So we just sat and had a coffee for a bit, and it was great watching these people, because you can tell who had read the website about what you should be wearing and who had not. So the men with the shorts, who then had to go to Boots to go and buy flight socks to cover up their legs, because you had to have all your legs covered.
Wowzers.
There were quite a few of those walking around. And it was fascinating, just fascinating. And that's what I quite liked. I wanted that experience where we saw some stuff, but also it was nice to just hang out, people watch, and have the world revolve around us for a little bit.
Were they culturally sensitive enough to take consideration of all your man-made fibres and cardigans?
By the fact that they allowed the temperature to be in 35 degrees, they did not take into account that I would be wanting to wear nylon and cardigans. So I actually wore shorts on one day. I mean,
woo!
No, I don't normally do that.
Photos or it didn't happen. Photos or send nudes.
I'm gonna post a picture up, and we'll see me in shorts with a camel.
Yorkshireman on a holiday in shorts with black socks.
Yeah. I don't think I did that. I'm just trying to think. Did I? No. And sandals. Yeah.
It's like my old man. He would never. He always sort of tend to wear office shoes and black socks. He'd have one old pair of pumps, but the idea of actually wearing sports socks or white socks, it was not. So I was just getting a flashback of my old man in shorts and office socks on really hot days, and it's not a good look.
Isn't that weird that is one generation apart? Because I'm assuming you're not an office socks and brogues on a hot day.
I've got nothing on underneath.
Great stuff. That's good.
Just goes up to basically here. This is like a cut off, and it's my midriff.
Okay. Please don't stand up. If there is a fire alarm, turn your camera off, please. Okay, thank you. So isn't that strange that is that one generation apart? That you can go from someone feeling so they have to be so formal to what we wear.
Yeah, he never wore jeans as well.
Wow.
Just never. His idea of sports casual, I suppose, was to take his tie off.
Oh, yeah. That is.
He tell him to day off because he wasn't wearing a tie.
There you go.
Yeah, sexy look.
I like it when you see elderly gentlemen who obviously retired walking around the supermarket with a tie on. And I think, you have made some effort to go to Sainsbury's. Yeah,
and they tend to be potentially ex-forces as well.
Yes.
Because they've got really, really shiny shoes.
Yes. Yeah.
Well-ironed trousers. Yeah. Good. I think we missed a little of that because I wouldn't say I'm a scruff bow, but like today, if I was to reveal my attire, I've just got a pair of trackies on. Because I went to the gym earlier. And it's comfortable to laze around. I've got no meetings, nobody needs to see. Doesn't really matter.
I like
big butts.
And I cannot lie. What I like is if I am going to get dressed up, for it to make a difference, right?
Yeah.
Because thinking of your dad there, if he was to go to a big posh event in the evening, how do you take that next step when you're already very formal and smart?
His top hat and monocle played a part.
That must be it. Yeah. Because for me, there's a difference between sitting around gym and going out to do something special gym. And I like
party gym. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I like the idea of dressing up and making that effort for a certain event. Maybe I should do it more often, just walking down the street, but
just wearing clothes?
Yeah, just
I think that everybody would be really happy if you did that.
Oh, they'd prefer it, would they?
They're just so small-minded. They're not embracing naturism in Ilkley's High Street.
Nanny state. That's what we live in.
It's health and safety gone mad.
Yeah, terrible. Awful.
Yeah. Actually, I got dressed up on Saturday to go to an event. So there's this wonderful idea. It's Vicky McClure, her from Line of Duty, and Johnny, her husband. They put these events on called Day Fever. So they're raves in the afternoon. So you can go out, party, and get home by 8 o'clock. So it's like, this has got me written right over it. Yeah. So we did our play date on Saturday morning, went home, had a nap, even though I was only going out till 8. I needed a nap.
This is good.
Got dressed up, and then there was some roadworks, and we completely missed it. So we were on the bus for about an hour and a half in the pouring rain. Just decided, actually, we cannot be asked. We came home. So I got dressed up, ready to go out in the afternoon, and still the gods were against me. So I had to come back. But by 5, we had our gym jams on.
I mean, as days go, it's slightly annoying you had to spend a bit of time on a bus in a traffic jam. But, pajamas on by 5.
Life goals. Life
goals, indeed. Yeah.
I think it's actually relationship goals, because we're both sort of looking at each other going, right, who's going to fold first? Because these events aren't cheap, and we've been looking forward to them, and etc. So right, I don't want to be the one that actually pulls the plug out of this, because we must say yes. We must do more creative stuff. I'm knackered. I could just a biscuit and a bit of telly. Right, and actually she folded first, so I feel quite smug about it. Okay, if you really want to, darling, I can feel your pain. I will give up my day.
I'm a little disappointed, but that's fine. It's okay. Yeah,
you're worth it.
Yeah. See, it's a good stage of a relationship to be at, isn't it? When you can finally just go, should we just stay in? And
blame each other.
Yeah, and blame. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. Stay and go, it's your fault. I could be out dancing right now.
Yeah, I really would. But then we did see some videos of it, and it did strike as a bit like a cheesy 80s wedding reception.
Okay.
There was a lot of very cheesy music, which I was not expecting. So as somebody that doesn't drink, to go into somewhere where people were obviously drinking heavily in the afternoon to sing Dolly Parton songs wouldn't have really floated my boat either. All
right. I think I just assumed it would be like it wouldn't be quite as boozy an affair because it finished at 8, but that was naive, right?
Yeah. They're the people that had a pass, they were getting involved. I think the age range is sort of 40 to about 60.
Right. Okay.
And they had a pass, and because they could be home early, they were stacking it in.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I can't make judgment because I was not physically there.
No, fair enough.
Sorry, Vicky McClure. I even brought a Fred Perry to go.
Just to make her feel at home.
Exactly.
Tell you what, I would happily watch. I saw a trailer I was watching something on Channel 4, the online bit.
Yep.
And I saw a trailer for This Is England, and I was like, I would happily go back and watch absolutely everything regarding This Is England, the film, the series, everything. So it was so good.
It is beautifully done, but it's really hard going as well.
Yes.
They did not shy away from some pretty tough subject. A bit like us. We looked really good. Great drama and tough subjects.
We are the This Is England of the internet. I was going to give you a great fact that Thomas Turgoose from This Is England was the most famous person in my phone, but I don't seem to have his number anymore, so he's not anymore.
How did you have his telephone number? Was that direct inquiries?
Yes, that was it. Yeah, I mean, how many Turgooses are there? Turgoose T. I rang 118 and got the lovely gentleman with the moustaches.
You actually went through the yellow pages. Do you remember yellow page? And then you have the blue pages for residential, and then you'd have to try and be Jeff Capes and try and rip it.
Yeah, and that was difficult. It was difficult. It was. If you ever tried it, you would know how tough that was.
Yeah.
No, it was. he's from Grimsby, and I worked on a radio station that covered Grimsby, and he agreed to come on our show for some reason or another. I can't remember why, but I got his number, and we had a little bit of hashtag.
And then never used it.
I did. I got him on the show. We had a chat.
Okay.
And then I kept his number, which probably GDPR wise is not great.
Yeah.
And
he's changed it 7 times since.
Oh, I'm sure he has. Yeah. And I do not have it anymore anyway. So, but having looked for that, I've realized I've got a phone number for someone called Darren Thompson, who I've got no idea who Darren Thompson is.
Isn't that's the way I've had my same number for about 15 years. So I've got people in there. I've got no idea. It would be like Dave, taxi man. And is that a taxi driver from a night out that I thought might be a good idea to keep his number? Yeah, Eric Kebab. I don't eat kebabs. I don't know anybody called Eric. Who are you?
For a long time, and I think I've deleted this one now. For a long time, I had a contact that was Baby Sotra, is what it said, and it was one of the first times that we went out. After Seth was born, my youngest, and it was in London it was for a mate's 40th, and they had a babysitter for their kids, and they were like, "Should be fine to look after yours as well. That's fine." So we went out for the daytime, and I'd had like maybe 2 drinks, but because we had young children, and I wasn't used to drinking, I was quite lightheaded. So we got back to take the kids there. To give them to the babysitter, and I was like, I should take a number, and I couldn't write the word babysitter for the life of me in my phone, so I just left it as Baby Sotra, is what it was, and yeah, it was there for years and years. But
for a London-based babysitter, you live in Yorkshire, that was useful. Never
going to ring her again. Also, never thought to edit it to just say babysitter, or her actual name, which I can't remember now. I just decided against it.
I saw a thing the other day about texting random numbers just with the message, from this moment on, we've never met.
Ooh.
And they go, who are you?
Ooh. Imagine if you got that message.
Yeah.
You'd be like racking your brain, wouldn't you?
Yes. More point, or if your partner found it in your phone, going, right, that's going to lead some really, really awkward conversations.
Yeah. Funny story. I don't know what it means.
It was the babysitter.
Yeah, it was a Baby Sotra. Unfortunately, on the 118 thing, right? There is a famous pub crawl that goes from the student area of Leeds into Leeds city centre, and that's the sort of main road that I use to get in and out of Leeds. And quite often, if we're there on a Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening, you'll just see all these people dressed up going from pub to pub, bizarre costumes. There are kids who are going on that pub crawl now, so at least 18, who are going as the 118 men. But surely that has not even been a thing for 15 years. So they were possibly like 5 the last time the 118 men were on telly. But that's somehow a legitimate, but is it? I mean, is that one of the things that we've handed down as a generation to the next generation to go, this was hilarious comedy back in the early 2000s where 2 men dressed as runners and then got sued by a runner that they're apparently taken the inspiration from?
I would suggest that there probably are some of those numbers that still exist, right? So that means somebody still has the job of being the operator. Right?
Yeah.
I imagine just this really old lady in this really cobwebbed room, right? She sat there with a switchboard and it lights up very occasionally with J.R. Hartley, and he's trying to get some fishing stuff. I go, yeah, this is why I kept my job. Then I'm going to try this afterwards. It probably cost me 15 quid on my phone.
Oh, God, yeah.
118 or 192.
Yeah.
There was a few of them. He went very competitive at one point.
It was, yeah. I worked at a radio group they created their own. So we had adverts for whatever theirs was.
Yeah.
Like 118 500 maybe. I can't remember. But it was all the time. They were trying to get a piece of that action. It was huge, wasn't it?
and they deregulated it. Well, anyway, this is a Dad the Soul Extra Time so with really useful information. This is a public service announcement with no idea of any help that we are giving to anybody.
We're helping people remember things. Do you remember any question answered? You could text a question.
Yeah, we used to do that on a night out or a night in after being very, very drunk and whatever, and see what you could get away with. But it cost a fortune.
Yeah. And it was basically someone was there with early Google just going, right, let me find out the answer for them. But because you didn't probably have the internet at home at the time.
Yeah. It's there to settle pub arguments.
Yes. Oh,
yeah.
100%.
Did that bloke happen? It was no. Yeah, that's 15 quid down the drain.
Yeah. But vindication. And what price vindication?
What price? That should be on your tombstone.
Or your
name buckle. Your name buckle. I told you I was ill. Another reference there for the kids. Jim, apart from glad ragging around the Far East, what else have you been up to?
What else have I been up to? I was straight back into kids' parties.
Okay. What, as a performer?
No, taking kids.
Did you know the kids, or did you just turn up? It's
On this occasion, yes. So back into going to standing around soft play, making small talk.
Awkward?
No, it was actually quite nice because I think because there's quite a close group of parents, though it was quite nice. But it's still you'd rather be having that conversation, in a cafe or in a pub or in a park or anywhere where there's not just kids screaming and running around.
Yeah. So something's going to lead us on to the next topic of conversation. There was a recent documentary by Danny Dyer, How to Be a Man. I think we're going to show you the trailer of. But there was a bit there where he went to visit some Geordie dads, and they were all being stay-at-home dads and lovely. And they went to soft play, and then they just started having pints of lager.
Oh.
Right, and it's going, really, is this the best view of soft play? We're being proper geezers. We're going to soft play and we can have a pint. But was that me being rude? I'm sure there's lots of, nice soft plays where you can get a gin and tonic.
Not that I've noticed.
Okay. Is that another business idea?
Maybe that is the boozy soft play. I mean, they do sometimes have them in pubs, don't they, I suppose? There's a certain brand of pub where they have a wacky warehouse.
We did see there was an advert. There's a soft play centre not too far from here, and obviously they've had some tough times as a business, especially over lockdown, completely locked away. But what they realise is there's a market there for grown-ups and grown-ups with adult interests. So
what kind of adult interests?
The adult interests that are normally on the top shelf.
Oh.
So S&M, and I'm not talking Marks and Spencers. They'd opened it up for adult babies, and there was a big backlash against it, going, I would not take my kids there because it's unclean. Soft plays have never been clean anyway. They're covered in God knows how much ribena and snot and whatever.
If your concern is hygiene at a soft play, then you are really taking your kids to the wrong venues, aren't you?
But a different level of, I suppose, bodily fluid was shared.
I guess it's the knowing, isn't it? Because you know what's taken place there. That is a very bold, fascinating approach to diversifying your business. At first,
it's not been open on a Sunday night. Why not? Everybody's adults.
My first thought was that you meant that you got in there, you sent your kids into one room, and then you went into the other room at the same time. And I was a bit like, that does not seem appropriate, because then you'd have to have a little ding dong, and you finish what you're doing and come to your child because they're crying. So
while you try and get the spikes off you or the adult nappy.
Can you say hello?
The ball gag. No. I think this was purely that after all the kids' birthday parties had been packed away, they obviously have the equipment and they can reutilize it for a different audience, which smart diversification of a business model.
See, a friend of mine had an idea to appeal to adults more with soft play, but it was a very different direction they went in. They were just thinking of like making sure they cooked nice food and served nice coffee. Was slightly more prosaic, slightly more boring than your one, but it would be nice. Like, because that's the thing, you go there and the food and the drinks are generally terrible
and very highly priced.
Very highly priced. Yeah, exactly. It's not even as if you're getting them for a bargain price.
Yeah.
You're not getting what you pay for, basically. But it'd be nice if you could go and you could get some like actual nice food. Then
like a 6-course taster menu.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, with like Heston Blumenthal coming out and spreading some fog on it or something.
Fog? That's a well-known accoutrement and a condiment, isn't it?
That is what Heston would do. WWHD, what would Heston do? Put some fog on it.
Oh, well, in our last show, we were talking about your vegan recipes. Now we've just gone on to weather condiments.
Yeah, weather. Hashtag weather condiments. Use that hashtag when you're talking about this podcast.
Shall we go viral?
Yeah, possibly. Maybe.
No, it's not. Musical interlude?
Let's do it.
What have we got? What have we got? DJ Jim in the house.
Well, this is very exciting. So this is a band from Worthing.
Noisy.
And they are, sorry?
Are they called Noisy?
They're not called Noisy, no. But they have been working with our good friends at Audio Active to record this song, and it's really good.
The Kick.
And the Kick, and I enjoyed it up until I saw pictures of them and realized how incredibly young they are, and they made me feel so old.
They're still at school, these lads, but they're making a great name for them. Good for Let's see some Kick.
They do Big Noise.
Kick AWOL. I'm so easy. Doomsday constantly calling out for me. Check out now, I'll make it past 23. Process beats, wanna check my ID. Cut off now from all society. Fast fuse hate with all my money. Shoot the run that he don't know about me. Going AWOL. Then y'all see, break out now, I ain't no thief. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. I'm on the phone to Muhammad Ali, said take aim fire. 1, 2, 3, days are forgotten, don't forget about me. Time to rewire, should be easy. Goodbye kiss, I see you Steven. I'm going AWOL. They're coming back for more. AWOL. They're coming back for more. wanna say about me. You won't be laughing cause I'm so easy. Doomsday constantly calling out for me. Check out now, I'll make it past 23. Process beats, wanna check my ID. Cut off now from our society. Fast fuse, hey, where's all my money? Shoot the runner, he don't know about me. I'm going AWOL. They're coming back for more. AWOL. They're coming back for more.
So that was the kick, wasn't it? They do kick.
Hey, well, what a noise that they make. Like, I mean, really impressive. And they've been recording that with Audio Active, who are good friends.
They do. I think they're about 14 or 15, 16, something, you know.
Couldn't believe it. When I looked at their Instagram and I saw how young they are, I was like, this is sickening. That they are so talented and they are so young. We'll play.
We have a lot of it.
Yeah. We'll play some more over the next few weeks.
Yeah.
Some more Audio Active artists.
There's another man I thought you were referring to, and they're called Noisy, and they are also from Worthing, and they're almost like a slightly younger Prodigy.
Okay.
Really, really creative. And what reminded me is I saw the lead singer on the bus on Saturday. Right, I've seen him a few times around town. But they've got a proper record deal, and they play all around Europe, big sellout crowds, and it was nice to see him on the bus. But he got off just at I was at the back of the bus, and he was at the front. And I thought, right, if he's still there when I get off, I'm going to have a conversation with him. But he got off way too early, and it was a point where I'd have to run down the street to talk to him.
Yeah, that's awkward, right?
Yeah, and I am not in your target demographic by about 30 years. I really wish them well. They're a nice. There's three lads, and they don't. I put it politely. None of them look like proper traditional pop stars. That they are musicians, and they make a hell of a noise, and it's quite funky dance orientated. But yeah, random fact: meet pop stars on the bus. Come to
it doesn't happen very often, does it? You don't see Bono on the number 15 ever.
I don't go on the number 15.
Well, maybe that's why you don't see Bono there.
that I reckon that is the actual answer to that. But we've seen the Edge on the number 27, so it's fine.
Oh, okay, good. Fair enough. The Edge. What point in your life do you think, I wish people just knew me by my real name and not The Edge?
Dudley.
Or Bono, I guess, as well.
No, well, Bono's real name is Paul.
Yeah.
What's the Edge's real name?
Dave.
Is it really?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Okay. Paul and Dave, yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I can see why in their 20s they went with cool nicknames, but they're in their 50s now, possibly 60s, and you're just thinking, I don't know if you want to. Just might relaunch as Paul and Dave. Go on, do it.
It's not striking me with enthusiasm. Here, the greatest hits of Paul and Dave.
Yeah. Like, how do you even address him? Oh, hi, The Edge. How are you doing today? At least Bono is like it's almost like it could be a name. Yeah. All right, Bono.
And it's his first name and Edge's surname.
I don't know. Yeah. How's The doing today? Is The going to join us? No.
In Yorkshire, it'd be how they doing.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be. And T'Pow are known as that in Yorkshire, but they're known as the Pow outside of Yorkshire.
In Gotham, they're known as Kapow.
Hey, very good.
We're here, and so this is the Dad the Soul Extra Time Show. 60 minutes of high quality politics, religion, society. We delve deep into the issues of the day. Would you say, Jim?
We've talked about the Grand Mosque in Abu Dhabi, so actually there is some religion on this episode. There
is. I can't help. Every time you say Abu Dhabi, I want to say Abu Dhabi Doo.
Yeah, I know. It's
my
difficult,
preference.
Isn't it? Yeah. Although apparently, according to people, it should be Abu Dhabi. That's how they pronounce it there. But nowhere else in the world.
What, with a speech impediment?
Apparently, yeah. I think it was Toya Wilcox who told me so.
It's in conversation with Chris Eubank.
Yes.
Yeah,
this is the high grade information. This is the high grade stuff.
This is just like Tony Blair and Alistair Campbell getting ready, to launch New Britannia, Rule Britannia, Cool Britannia,
Cool Britannia. Yeah,
that wasn't cool, was it? What are you struggling? We've done what we're doing.
Yeah.
What are you doing? What are you struggling with? And then I want to go deep down.
Okay. Struggling was that I don't know. I think I joked about this last time about how my kids always get ill when I go away. Yeah. It's just, whenever I try and do something, always one of them has something like whether, it was teething when they were younger or whatever. This time, apparently, as I said, got the taxi 2:30 from my house to Leeds.
Yeah.
3:00, half an hour after I got the taxi. 3:00, my daughter apparently came out onto the landing and just threw up everywhere.
Psychosomatic, guilt-related?
That's
going away without me. I'm going to make sure he has a crap time.
I don't think so. Because we go away together. We've had quite a bit of time together, me and Jill. And they never bother. They're always dead.
But they're always in the boot of the car.
Yeah,
if you let them out, then it wouldn't be such an issue.
That's what I thought. Yeah. So I don't think it is that. I just think it's also there are a lot of illnesses going around school at the moment. So I think it was that, but it's just the bad timing of it. Yeah. So she was really poorly, and then my son was really poorly as well with a cough, which seems to have affected every child in his class at his football game yesterday.
Yeah.
They'd gone and scored a goal, then they celebrated quite vociferously, and all of them came back just to their own half, just coughing like wheezing old Sunday League players who'd had too many fags.
They're Capstan full stints.
Yeah. The referee had to go, is everyone okay? Well,
as long as they're sharing the germs between them all.
Yeah. Yeah, so it wasn't great timing. So that that's part of the dad guilt, I guess, is that of knowing that it's been it's a horrible situation at home as I've been out having the time, drinking some lovely fruit juice,
peanut butter. Well, you couldn't drink over there, could you? Or
no, you can if you go to a hotel bar. We went to one. So in the time I was there, I had one small bottle of Red Stripe. But yeah, I wasn't really that bothered about it.
That was £78.
Yeah, it was quite a lot of money. But the good thing is that because there's no sort of booze drinking culture, the soft drinks are amazing. There's all sorts of amazing kind of mint and lemon drinks and stuff like that. So it was nice exploring those. So I was having a lovely time eating meze and drinking beautiful soft drinks as the children were throwing up and coughing their guts up.
This doesn't strike me as very rock and roll, if I'm honest.
I mean, it's difficult to be rock and roll in a dry country. So maybe we'll go to Prague,
especially with airport socks.
Yeah,
that's going to spoil the Pete Doherty, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, it's not the done thing, right?
No, but you don't want some. What's the deep vein thrombosis?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Those people, although they, had not read the respectful email, they will on the way home. Maybe they'll go, oh, I will try these on, and maybe it will have saved someone. So their ignorance will have saved them. Then
Fashion saves lives.
exactly. Don't forget it.
This is another public service announcement that we just keep producing.
Yeah.
I'm sure we should be sponsored by somebody for the amount of value that we just keep giving and giving and giving.
Yeah. Without this,
Yeah.
without this, people would be going down the wrong path all the way. But
do you think our young people would be going down the path? Because that's what I want to touch on next.
who knows, right? Who knows? That's the worry. That is another thing to be struggling with all the time. Is like, I don't know if it's a new phenomenon to have this sort of existential crisis about, God, how are we preparing the next generation? I guess every generation's had it, because every generation has to face new challenges. But it just seems like now bringing up children is a bit like, oh God, how do you get this right in a world full of limitless options that you have to make on the fly, basically?
Should I tell you when he went wrong?
When
they stopped putting kids up chimneys.
Okay, right.
Had your average 4-year-old, been stuffed up there, they'd have other things to worry about.
Yeah, no, true. Went to Bradford Industrial Museum yesterday, and they talked a lot about how young kids had to go and shimmy underneath the moving machinery that was going and pick up little bits of cloth so they didn't waste any.
That's an odd version of Gladiator, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, it's like a new challenge, slightly more,
Ninja
death.
Hunter.
Yeah, like more death related, really, I would imagine.
Oh, so completely randomly, I wanted to thank you and thank Christian. I listened to the show back in while I was away, and I picked up on watching Hunted.
Oh, right, yeah.
Talking about public service, great. Me and my lad right in it. Absolutely loved it.
Good, isn't it? Isn't it really good?
Those two old ladies from Worthing were such good value. I want to, without saying, I want to reach out and give them a cuddle. That they were so entertaining. Apart from how they went out. Yes,
no, exactly. That's the problem, is that everyone makes like kind of silly mistakes in it.
Yeah,
and it's and did you think, how many series of this have you watched? Because you'd know not to do that, right?
Yeah.
But I guess when you've been on the run for 3 weeks, your brain's not right firing on all cylinders, I guess.
But let's have a picnic on the beach.
Yeah.
And earlier on in this is series 6 or 7 for those who haven't seen it, and it really is good fun. And I love the fact that they really went in on the fat Tory, because there was a young lad and he was really quite smug.
Yeah,
and it was quite nice to take him down.
They didn't hold back, and I think most people were rejoicing when he got caught. Spoiler alert. There's loads of other series to watch. The celebrity series are all right as well. So yeah, if you've not seen it yet, I would recommend people going back to watch those, because they're all on Channel 4 on the internet thing that they do. It used to be called All 4, now it's just called Channel 4. It's confusing.
Just called 4.
Yeah.
So what I want to talk about next is actually I've been watching a bit of telly. So 2 different things. Start with This Town.
Okay.
Which is the Stephen Moffat drama. So Stephen Moffat was the brains, the beauty, and the creativity behind Peaky Blinders.
Mm-hmm.
He's done a really interesting 6-part drama based in Birmingham in the late 70s. And I'm going to won't spoil it, but it's about this young guy who becomes a singer-songwriter, and he forms a band, and it's the start of like two-tone.
Okay.
So it delves very interestingly into the political and social and racial divides, but it's also got a really, really brilliant soundtrack. So you've got all the classics of the day and a load that you probably have forgotten about, but also as part of the drama, they've commissioned some new songs that the band actually come up with and sing on stage. And it's really, 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 really good. I mean, I binge watched it on the flight coming home, and I've been waiting for them to release the soundtrack, which they've done with all of the kind of famous songs, but I haven't released the new original stuff.
All right.
Which is a shame. So I think we've got the video of one of them.
Yes.
The band is called F the Factory, for reasons that you will understand if you watch the show. But this is really funky and really catchy. And I know you told me that you hadn't seen the show, which surprised me. I think there's lots of other people that probably haven't seen it either, and you really should. So could we have another musical interlude with F the Factory and This Town?
Yes.
It's joyous.
We don't fucking care. Here is a song about our town. This town. Hope you like it.
From here, get what you can or get used to nothing. Fire all over the city. Don't care what you do, just do something. Reach for the sky unless the sky's burning. Bullets like eyes in the dark, knives like hands in your guts. Searching, keep dancing, don't stop the dance. Say what you like unless the wrong person is listening. Then you better keep your mouth closed. What you can't hold down, what you can't hold down. Sooner or later it will all explode. Be what you want unless you come from here. Get what you can or get used to nothing. Fire all over the city. I don't care what you do, just do something. I'm getting out. I'm getting out.
And you're coming with me.
You're coming with me.
If I'm going in,
I'm going in.
and you're coming with me.
You're coming with me.
If I'm getting out,
I'm getting out.
and you're coming with me.
You're coming with me. We don't leave nobody behind. Forget what they tell you about this town. This town's sinking, never to be found. You can hear the sound of the children thinking, how can I get out before everybody drowns? But I got away, sing with me, I know the way. Make enough noise, they will hear us, kicking up the dust in the distance. Spin the whole city, make it all disappear. Say what you like about this town. This town's mine, I love her and I'll never let it go. This town's magic, harder to shake than a bad habit. And she taught me everything I know. I love the way you lead me, I love the way, come follow me into the sound. Kicking up the dust in the distance. Raise it all up and then burn it all down. I'm getting out. I'm getting out. You're coming with me. I'm going in. If I'm going in. You're coming with me. I'm getting out. I'm getting out. You're coming with me. We don't leave nobody behind.
Nice.
It really is, and there's plenty more songs that the band produce. You mentioned earlier about your love for This Is England. It's not a million miles away.
Right. Okay. Well, that's good. I'm in for that.
Yeah, I'd say slightly darker, but can you get darker than This Is England? But it's groovy as hell. It really is. And it probably one of those shows where Jill could be there with her pad and pen, looking at all the props, going, "I've got that, I've got that, I got that, I've got that."
That's the perfect combination. The good thing is as well, because when sometimes they do, I always find this when the program's about stand-up comedy or about music. Quite often, the stand-up comedy and the music is rubbish. But that sounded ace. It sounded really good.
Yeah, they've got a range of different songwriters or modern songwriters involved. Yeah, very credible, very good, and really catchy. So that was my recommendation. But now I also want to recommend a little documentary that I saw over the weekend. I think we've got the trailer to that. Is that?
Yeah. Can play that now.
Do this, please.
Because at the moment, men are in a weird place. These days, for men, it can feel like there's nowhere to hide.
Man up, what's the matter with you?
If he's playing with dolls, he's gay. So Channel 4 bung me a few quid to find out what's going on.
I might have said a couple misogynistic things, so what?
There's so much anger. How are we going to help men to help themselves? Everyone needs a father, and an old man left when I was 9. I was lost. Do we need to become more feminine? I won't get run over. Can we find a positive way to be masculine in the modern world? To be men, let's own it.
So yeah, that's the I suppose the legend that is Mr. Dyer, and he went around the country talking to different men's groups and interviewing different people about what is it to be a man in this day and age where everything is changing. Touched on some really interesting thing. A little bit annoyed he came to Brighton twice. Didn't come and see us.
That would have worked quite nicely, wouldn't it?
It was, but he went to see the Brighton Gay Men's Choir, which is joyous. But what really struck me and slightly scared me is around the. I imagine everybody listening is aware of, Andrew Tate. What I wasn't obviously aware of is that for every Andrew Tate, there's another 1,000 or 2,000 of his disciples that have got their channels. And the amount of really dodgy misogyny and views that are going out, actively targeting our children. And I've got a 12-year-old boy, and we've had conversations about Andrew Tate, and the way that they are phrasing this, that they are fueling so much hatred, and I suppose a little bit easier for us being, I would say, a bit longer in the tooth to be able to view it for what it is, which is dodgy as hell. But for these young people, they're lost. So yeah, I wanted to sort of just bring that up and wondered, how old's Seth now? 9, 10?
He's 7.
7, sorry.
Yeah.
So it hasn't kind of reached him yet. But what fears for the future do you have in the changing role of men?
Yeah, it is. It's hearing about what these people say, and it's, I guess, at his age, it's trying to lay the groundwork so that he can view that as critically as he should. Because people like Andrew Tate have spotted an opportunity where you say something controversial, and you get lots of engagement, and that brings lots of views, that brings adverts, that brings money, that brings a revenue stream.
Yeah,
like no one is going to get as big a revenue stream by going, well, let's listen to both sides of the argument, because that's not how the internet works. And it is about fueling that. And then, as you say, these people go off because they've been served this diatribe, and they think that that's the way forward. It's very easy the first time you hear information about something to take that as gospel without going, maybe I should do some research, work out whether that is true or whether that does make sense. And that's a really scary thought. So I guess it's trying to kind of give our kids as much of a grounding to go, look, you're going to be told all sorts of stuff. Here's why I think that's not correct. And here's why you need to think more deeply about this, I suppose.
It's, I suppose, the conversations and how all this content is pumped out to them. But the conversations they're having with their friends that we are not party to.
Yes, and that's why you need, hopefully, to try and give that counterpoint, so that at least there is a counterpoint, and it's not people going, "Oh, he said this. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, okay, yeah." There needs to be the very certainty, and that's the problem. Is these people speak with such certainty. You've got people like Jordan Peterson. I don't know what you think about him, but I've seen a lot of things where they've gone, but he just talks with certainty about things that he has no idea about. But he talks with certainty, and he's very condescending to anyone who thinks differently from him. Yeah. And that's the style that people go, oh, well, he must be right then. But no, he can just bullshit really well in order to get his views up and get that interaction and that engagement up. And it's really scary.
But it's the danger of the side effects that he's having, about how they actually are, viewing their roles, but also, I can't go into it too much because it's just some of the stuff that was being pumped out was just so nuts. Really, just going, what? But you're absolutely right. Controversy sells adverts, sells engagement, and then people maybe don't believe that, but he's still affecting them 2 or 3 rings down the line. And I remember talking to my son about Andrew Tate a couple of months ago and just being very clear on what my views are. But I actually hadn't stopped and considered what his views were. Your parents can have different views on it. I was like, he's a idiot, blah, 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 blah. End of story. But I'm not, aware of absolutely all of the stuff that he is being subjected to. Not so the conversations he's having in their conversations in the playground, where some of these lads, there's a young sort of TikToker that Danny Dyer interviews, who does his stuff from his his parents' garage, and he's spouting all this rubbish. And God love Danny Dyer, because you can say that if the cameras weren't here, this bloke would get a right-hander. He was just so irritating. But these guys are role models for our boys and our young men, and that terrifies me. I think there's a lot more education. But he did a bit where he went into schools and tried to open up the conversation with boys. I think that was probably stilted because the cameras were there. I think if the cameras had not been there, and there was a female teacher there. Had that not happened, I think the conversation would have been a lot more open with those young lads. So how do we protect them?
Yeah, because you want to also, we all know from our own experiences, if your parents go, that's nonsense, that's rubbish, I hate that, stop listening to that, the thing you're going to do then is go into it a little bit more, because that's teenage rebellion, right?
Yes.
So it's finding
the Sex Pistols, everything.
It's finding that way to introduce the other concepts and to guide them and to give them that more rounded kind of education without it sounding like you're going, this is what you should think, this is what you shouldn't think.
Then the question is, how much do you allow them to have their own views if their views do not agree with yours?
Yeah, I mean, if they're damaging, though, they do need to be challenged, don't they? And that's the thing. It's difficult. It's really difficult to do that, especially because I hate confrontation with anyone. So I'm going to have to get over that, I'm sure, possibly at some point.
We can't beat it out of them or stuck them up the chimney, which is, like I said earlier, probably would have been the cure for quite a lot of things.
Possibly, yeah. Although, actually, were the Victorian times that good for people? Not sure.
They died in their 30s. When you say people, the other thing, completely relevant, is how old do people look in days gone by? When they're like 30 or 40, they look like they've had 5 or 6 lifetimes already. Yeah.
Well, even in the 70s, there's a Twitter account, was it 70s footballers aging badly? And it's essentially just like pictures of footballers with their age, and like they all look like they're about 50, and he was 23 at the time. You're like, whoa.
Yeah. They've all got the dodgy comb-overs.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
I was like, what did hair just start growing back in the 80s?
Yeah. It's just like the comb over is at least 20 years on your actual age, isn't it? That's
Do you think it will come back though? We've had moustaches, beards made a comeback. Then I've seen people rocking a moustache, rocking a mullet. Is the next step the comb over?
I mean, possibly. Stranger things have happened, is what I'd say to that. Stranger things.
Or is everybody just going to Turkey to have the hair transplant?
Right.
Would you have a hair transplant, by the way?
No, like the problem is I really fear going bald because I've got a very weirdly shaped head and I think I'd look like a right doofus. Hats don't suit me, so I don't know what I'd do. So I'm hoping, at the moment I'm hanging on to my hair, and I'm just hoping that nothing comes to change that and I don't have to think about it.
I always worry that, you'd go to Turkey, you'd have your fringe done like that. But what happens over time when the rest of it just falls out? Because you just have this big comb over strip of fake, AstroTurf, and the rest is gone.
Yeah, I'd not thought about that. then you have to. I guess you have to go back and get like rows done, don't you? As they fall out, you have to get. Yeah,
that's quite an investment, though, isn't it? Because then, it'd be like the painting the Forth Bridge. Once you get to that side, you have to start again and go back and back and back.
That's how they're making all this money, you know. And you know, Turkish Airlines are probably making a whole stack of cash out of people going for it.
Yeah, and their dodgy teeth.
Yeah, perfect.
There's them. See, education. I told you this is, you know, cultural revolution. This is politics. What else do you want on a lunchtime?
Exactly. It's all here. All human life is here.
This is a bit like Loose Women crossed with Question Time. I went Sean Connery then for absolutely no reason.
But you know when Sean Connery goes to Wimbledon?
Tennis.
Yes.
Are we done?
Yeah, I think we are. I think we're over.
I've gone random conversations. Has gone right. Let's have a little recap for today. Right. Name the subjects that we have touched on. So we started with Abu Dhabi weather.
Yeah.
Then we went to.
I don't know.
Recall. This is like asking your kids, did you have a nice day at school?
What
and they've only left 5 minutes ago. No.
What did you talk about? No idea. Absolutely no idea. We talked about flight socks. I remember that. The yellow pages we've touched on. 118. We also mentioned. I don't even know. Can't even remember.
Right. Yeah, we had 118. We did 192. This town, Danny Dyer.
The dodgy soft play.
Dodgy soft play, adult soft play. This you would think this took a team of very creative editorial staff ages to put this together.
Yeah,
wouldn't you?
You
the
would.
vibrancy. This is this rich tapestry of our conversation. Wouldn't I think it's just random how our heads work?
I love it when I come to edit it because I hear things. I'm like, did we even talk about that? I don't remember that.
And it's how you map from there to there. Okay, is there a linear point? No, there's not. This
no, there
is
wasn't.
Random gibberish.
Yeah, someone picked up on one thing someone said 5 minutes ago, and then they've gone, right, we're going with that.
Yeah, or 18 shows ago, we'll reference a comedy callback. There we go. This has been the Dad the Soul Extra Time show. Before we leave, Jim, I need a public service announcement. We have got our big summer party coming up on the 21st of July. Tickets are available. This is 3 hours of funk in a beautiful amphitheatre. We've got dancers. We've got amazing singer. We've got Aidan Goatley, our favourite in-house comedian, come and do a stand-up set. We've got Nerf Wars. What else do you want on a Sunday afternoon?
Exactly.
So, can we show a little video?
Show a little video.
Yeah.
In the parks after dark, we boys came to listen in shell-toe Adidas, fat lace sneakers. The techniques turned and Brits burned the speakers. Band rocked the place. The party was live. We talking 80, 81, no later than 85. But yo, I can't lie, my eyes were never blessed by the visions that I'm living of rap. Resurrected, check your tape deck, it's heated, about to melt. While format spins the wax that's on the belt, terminating all ties. By now you realize, short shot of rocket shit, or rappers that's omitting our roots. Who you kidding? True, we can't forget Melly Mel, Grandmaster Kaz, and all the rest. And if rap's new to you, God bless. Let me suggest you take heed to the words that I manifest.
So, yeah, that's what we're doing on the 21st of July. Obviously, that worked really well for radio, for the people that are listening on the podcast. But go to dadazone.com and find out all the information. That's what I beseech you to do.
Do it. Do it.
Do it. Or Gin will come round and make you wear flight socks to the local shopping mall.
And I will not feel bad about it at all.
Because we are saving you from deep vein thrombosis. What more do you want from an hour's lunchtime?
Exactly.
Sponsored by the NHS, or we should be. All right. Until next time, boys and girls, this is